Hey, cut it out. Joey Gladstone. What you know about Joey Gladstone?
I don't know anything
That's
about
a
Joey Gladstone.
full. You ever seen Full House?
Yes.
That's a blast from the past. That's one of the Uncle Yossi. Cut it out.
Cut it. I do remember that now. That's gosh. So
Long time.
now, all right, I'm recording it now, so we're gonna get
All right.
going. All right. So I got here today. Got JJ Mann on the post game. JJ, why don't you just start? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, kind of your childhood, and into getting into where you are now.
Okay, cool. So my name is JJ Mann. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 28 years old, and I went to high school in Atlanta at Marist, and then I actually did not have the recruiting that I wanted, so I did an extra year at Hargrave Military Academy. Coach Keats was the coach there. He's now at NC State, so that was a that was a challenge. Everyone said, "Oh, this is going to be great for you." Looking back, it's going to be an awesome experience. And of course, you're 17, 18. All your friends are freshmen in college, or you're watching them on TV, and you're like, "That should be me." But looking back, now I can say, yeah, it was. It definitely was a good move for me.
To go to the
Uh,
military, I mean, you went to
yeah. So
isn't that where a lot of pro ballers go and a lot of big names go?
yeah, there's a lot of prep schools out there. I had no idea there's a whole prep school world out there, but it's real and it's legit. Some are legit, some are scams, for sure. But Hargrave, we did our research, and I mean, we had 12 guys that were there, and all of them played Division One, so it was a pretty good
Wow.
team. And
Who were some of the guys you played with on that team?
played with Sean Kemp Jr.
Okay.
Played probably the biggest name was Lorenzo Brown, who he's been bouncing around the league. He
Okay.
might have got a ring with the Raptors last year.
All right.
I'm not sure if he was on the final roster or not, but he was probably the biggest name. Dominique Ferguson, he was a top 10 recruit, but
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Epps went to Pittsburgh. Mardragus Wade went to Arkansas, and he's been playing in Germany as well.
Okay.
So, and then some other guys that kind of went mid-major. Um, and I fortunately was able to get a scholarship to Belmont University from there, and did four
Like when
years
you
at
got the
Belmont.
scholarship, did you freak out? Were you like, did
Man,
you throw like a block party in
oh,
Atlanta? Like what happened?
I threw a block party in my dorm jail cell that I was in Hargrave. There wasn't much partying going on at Hargrave, but I mean, yeah, because I think I signed in October. I think that was the period,
Mm-hmm.
and but I was still going to Hargrave, so it was there wasn't much partying going on. It was I woke up. I think I signed and still woke up at 6 a.m. the next day to go marching around the gym before I could go to breakfast.
That's crazy.
So, but yeah, I mean, I was super pumped. Yeah, my recruiting story is actually pretty entertaining if we want to come back to that. Or
Yeah, we can come back to that. I
so
mean,
yeah, I did 4 years
this
at
is a
Belmont.
PG audience, JJ.
No, it's PG. It's a good entertaining. It's
All right.
um, and so yeah, I did 4 years at Belmont, and I remember the Coach Bird, the
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Famer. He uh, he asked me if I wanted a red shirt, and I was like, man, I just redshirted at in my mind, I just redshirted my prep year. I'm ready to go, and that was a really fun year, my freshman year, because we pretty much rotated 10 guys. There was the only person who played like over 22, 23 minutes was Ian Clark, who
Mm-hmm.
made it to the NBA, so he probably deserved a few extra minutes than the rest of us. But
Debatable.
it was debate. I mean, if I was getting 23 minutes, I probably would have put up some bigger numbers too. But so, and it was just a good year, and we had some good seniors, and just kind of was able to learn the system and learn the culture at Belmont and how everything went. And then from there, it really was just hard work. That
Mm.
was really, I mean, in the weight room, on the court, I had a couple manager buddies who are coaching and doing skill work now that are making it pretty big, that we just got after it every day, before, after practice, and sometimes 6, 7 a.m. before class, and just got after it, man. I mean, people want to know what the secret recipe is, but
There
go.
ain't no secret recipe.
No, there's not. It's just go make 500 threes from 6 to 6:30 a.m. and see how you shoot. Do that for 10 days straight, and I guarantee your shot's going to be. And
Yeah.
that's 500 makes, not bricks for you,
Yeah,
all
because
you
if you did 500, if I did 500 makes, it'd be over in like 10 minutes. And
yeah,
if you did it, it would take 20 minutes. Double, it'd
yeah.
be twice the shooter.
That's well, percentage wise, maybe. If you know,
That's a lie. JJ, for the record, is one of the best shooters that I've coached, and enjoyed joy to work with. Obviously, we got to work together in Belgium this year. Um, but I get a lot of questions on the secret. What do you got to do to play in college? And I always say, rain, no, rain, wine, or shine. You got to go act like a professional basketball, act like a college basketball player, do what the best do. If I had a kid in Huffman basketball camp, I have some camps I run in the summer. I
yeah,
challenge these kids, like you said, do that 10 days in a row. And I have a 21-day challenge where I challenge kids to play basketball, even as little as 10 minutes a day. What would
yeah.
you do if I said, JJ, you got 10 minutes every day to play basketball? Tell me about like a 10-minute workout that you would do
Ooh,
to get the most out of your 10 minutes.
I think I would go 10 1-minute drills. So, and you're probably getting 15 to 20 shots up a minute. So that's a quick 200 shots,
Mm-hmm.
and go pull up right for a minute, pull up left for a minute, double to go between your legs 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
shot, and basically 10 different moves, step back each way. There's 5 moves right there without
Mm-hmm.
even thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you think it's crazy to think, but people out there are always like, oh, just and one big thing is just consistency. Like I would rather go hard for 10 minutes doing that 200 shots in 10 minutes if that's physically possible. Maybe it takes 13, 14, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd rather do 10 minutes of hard beast mode workout than go in the gym for an hour and a half and just lollygag and get 200 shots up, but I'm barely sweating or none of them were game shots.
Yeah. Right.
And then you're like, oh, and then you go home, like, oh, I was in the gym for 2 hours a day. Okay, but you didn't do any, like, you didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So, and
Exactly.
what's
What's the
what's the point?
point? What's the point of not going game speed or going at a high intensity level where you know how a game feels? It speeds up. You're tired.
Uh huh.
You're getting beat up. You're pushing people. You're grabbing people, and then you got to go down and make shots on the other end. As a shooter, what's like one tip you would give any player for that instance of like working through that fatigue, getting in shape? How did you stay in such good shape as a college player? I saw your highlight of you hitting the shot against North Carolina. If you want to run me through that, and then talk
Oh
about.
man, that's a pretty fun day. Both my parents actually played basketball at Georgia Tech, so I grew up a big ACC guy,
Mm-hmm.
and
So you were actually were they like pissed off when you went to Belmont? They were like,
there wasn't any ACC. All the ACC teams somehow passed on me. They
mistake.
pulled the old athleticism card on me,
Yeah,
which I think I only played 2 ACC schools and averaged 25. So I guess maybe I could have done all right in the
yeah.
ACC. But, yeah. So actually, at Hargrave, we actually played a game against the UNC JV team. So I was a little familiar with the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, we were little old Belmont, me and my buddies. It was like the third or fourth game of the season, and they were top 10 or 12 or something, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a bunch of NBA guys on the team, and I mean, we were up 8-9 the whole game. I mean, all of our guys were hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
mean,
saw
I'm
you guys
sure.
had 15 threes at halftime. Is that right?
I think so. It was pretty ridiculous barrage of threes.
Yeah.
Um, and actually, I wasn't really contributing that much to the 3-point barrage.
Mm-hmm. So they had you on lockdown.
They had me a little bit on lockdown. I was forcing a little bit. I was a senior. I was trying to do a little bit too much,
Mm-hmm.
and I might be a little bit off on my numbers, but we were up like I said, 8 or 9 the whole game, and then they just, they were UNC, so they UNC'd us, and they got up 6 or 7 with a couple minutes. They probably went on like a 20-3 run,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 2-3 minutes left, 4 or 5 point game, and I mean we made some plays, but I made 3 threes in a row at the end of the game in the last 2 minutes to basically kind of bring us back and seal the
Mm-hmm.
deal. But
Mm-hmm.
going into those last 3 threes, I was 2 for 25 on the season. So that's a very low number for all you math majors out there. But you got to shoot. You got to keep shooting. And I mean, I was taking good shots. And they asked Coach Bird after the game, like, what were you doing letting him shoot? And he said, well, if JJ, and especially those mid majors, the seniors are the ones that got to really have big years for the mid major programs to have good years usually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if JJ's not going to start making any shots, then we're not going to win any games. So I just got to let him keep shooting.
Let
And
them
then
keep shooting.
made those 3 threes in a row to win at UNC, and then shot about 50% the rest of the season. But
Yeah.
and
I think that's typical though. Mid-major, like I was a mid-major guy. I started off my senior year horrible.
yeah,
New coach, new everything, and I just remember being like, "What is going on?" When it clicks, it clicks. Even your senior year, you put a
right.
bit more pressure on yourself
Oh yeah.
mentally. Do you think your mindset in games where, like that North Carolina game, for instance, you're missing shots? What do you like? What kind of self-talk are you having internally?
Yeah, I'm telling myself, man, this is the only time you're ever going to get to play at UNC, probably the rest of your life, man. Just go out there, have fun, and really, I think probably fearless is probably one of the words
Mm-hmm.
I would use. Or like I like if I see a guy who's fearless, that scares me more. Like if I was a coach and I'd be like, man, that guy's fearless. I'd rather have a fearless guy than instead of someone who's described as talented.
Yeah.
You can have all the talent in the world, but if it's 2 minutes left in the game at UNC and you're scared to take the shot, then it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're scared to take it, or your
Yeah.
hands are shaking, palms are
Yeah.
sweaty, you're probably not going to make it. But if you got a guy who he doesn't care, and he's fearless and he's just
Yeah.
a competitor and wants to win, then it doesn't matter if it comes off the hand wrong or not. He's gonna find a way to make
All
sure it
right.
goes in.
All right. Well, then here's a question for you, because I don't think I don't think we're born leaders. I don't think we're born basketball players. I don't, like you're saying, some people have a higher genetic predisposition to be talented, both internally, intellectually, IQ. Like I know my IQ isn't that high, but I played basketball at a very high IQ. My basketball awareness was high. How did you
Uh-huh.
develop your fearlessness? You didn't always start off that way.
No, I definitely didn't. I was actually listening to a sermon on Sunday, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy talking about his son, like 10 or 12, walking into a gym for this fancy, famous camp in Colorado, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a white kid, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he got like invited to this elite basketball camp. And he walks in the gym, and there's just these guys, like I said, I'm 10, 12 years old, dunking and throwing each other alley oops and stuff. And I'm like, it gave me flashbacks to all the days I walked into the gym, guys looking at me like, this guy, why
Mm-hmm.
we're not even
The
gonna let
only
him on the
white guy in
court.
the gym.
Only white guy in the gym, and yeah, we're not letting him play. Or we only got 9. We'll let him play.
Yeah.
And I mean, just just playing. I think experience can be a big thing. I grew up always playing against guys who were better than me, either older or at a higher level. Or I was fortunate enough in high school that my high school coach played professionally overseas, and so
Mm-hmm.
I was every Saturday was playing with him and his buddies who were all,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, when I was in high school they were 35, 38, 40, and so they were kind of on the decline.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a high paced basketball, but it was physical, it was intense, it was competitive.
Cerebral.
So I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I remember it, hit a game winner on like Steve Smith and
Mm.
Travis Best, and I'm like, okay, if I can, okay, again, they're not playing college level defense, but they're not
Yeah.
not letting me score either. So
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, if I can score against this guy, then I can do it against anybody.
Yeah. So
And
it's basically learned fearlessness for a player. You know, if I came from Northern Michigan, I didn't have the Mateen Cleaves, the Charlie Bells, the Mo Petersons, the Draymond Greens. Like, I had to go find a challenger, you know, and
yeah,
I talk a lot about that with, you know, find somebody that challenges you, is better than you, gets you out of your comfort zone. If I
uh-huh,
was to go shoot, I'd want to shoot with you, because if I had a contest, you know, where we're putting, you know, putting $5 on a 3-point contest, or, you know, I'll make you do 10 push-ups or a suicide. I want somebody that forces me to face, you know, tension or anxiety or stress, because I'm like, oh, I know I got to, my levels got to go up. And I think it's
yeah,
important, you know, whether you're 35 and you're playing in a rec league that you're just like, you know, I feel really comfortable. How are you going to improve? Well, go find a better rec league, you
yeah.
know, go find a better
It's
run.
right. No, it's they're out there, and yeah, even now I remember I tried to always shoot with Riley this year because he's almost as good a shooter as I am,
Right.
but
He's referring to Riley LaChance, a Vanderbilt Commodore. Uh,
fellow Nashville guy, and but it was one of the first couple weeks of the season, and that's first couple weeks of the season. You're feeling everybody out, like, hey, who do I want to shoot with? Who's gonna be my partner?
yeah.
Who's gonna be my friend? All that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, I was like, hey, like I don't like shooting with people who can't shoot, because hey, let's make 10. All right, I go 10 for 11, and then I get stuck rebounding 22 of your shots because
Right.
you go
Because
10 for 22. I'm like,
you shoot 50%.
so
Yeah.
I mean, I think that falls into your category of, yeah, don't don't go play someone one on one every day who you beat 11-2 every day, and
Yeah.
you're walking around thinking you're hot stuff, and then you show up at varsity practice or freshman year of college, and you can't even dribble your left hand because you used to just shoot right hand layups on your buddies all day.
Right.
And again, there's nothing wrong with going to hang out, play a little fun basketball every now and then, but when you're really trying to get after and really trying to get better, you need to try to. I mean, I remember my first run ever in college, I got blocked like 4 times. And I was just like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah.
these were shots that I could take and make in high school, but no, now I'm at college. Now the guys are 3 inches taller and 5 inches longer and jump 5 inches higher. So that doesn't work anymore. So you got to you got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got a question coming in. This is from Jim Rummer's daughter. She,
Yeah,
what?
I'm married.
Yeah, he's taken everybody. So you can we'll talk about your social media absence.
Yeah.
Because you're married, doesn't matter. You don't need social media like me. What kind of effort did it take to reach pro performance? Are we talking 7 days a week workout? How many hours a day? How young were you when you started consistently working out?
Those are good questions. I grew up playing basketball and baseball from when I was 4 or 5 years old. And then, I mean, I was doing both pretty much all the time. And then when I was 15, 16, that's kind of, when the recruiting picks up and varsity starts kicking in, and it was, okay, you need to choose which one you want to do. And I chose basketball just because I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think playing multiple sports is always a good thing because it works on different muscles and different body parts. And just, I mean, I got quick hands, I think, from playing baseball. And so, like, but I would say, five days a week.
Uh-huh.
I think usually at least 3 days a week I was going. My dad would drop me off at 6 a.m. before school, and I would work out with my high school coach from 6 to 7:30 before class. So, and then practice at night.
Yeah.
So that's 5 practices. That's 8 practices during the week, and play pickup on Saturday. So that's nine workouts
Mm-hmm.
a week. So, and um, and for me, like, you got to find like the little things that that you can do that are attainable and consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we said earlier, hey, go make 500 threes 10 days in a row. Okay, well, if you do that 10 days in a row and then you don't do it again for a month, then no, that doesn't really work. Okay, change it to let's do 500 makes every other day, and you actually do it
Mm-hmm.
after 30 days. You've made a lot more shots than just that little 10-day stint you had.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what they say, it takes 10,000 hours to master something, or 100,000.
So it's 10,000. That
10,000.
Malcolm Gladwell wrote that book, Tipping Point, um, which talked about the 10,000 hour rule. But yeah, it's exactly. I think like high school athletes, even middle school athletes. I hate to throw them in there, but that window by the time you become a senior, how fast can you reach that 10,000 hour mark, and how
Uh-huh.
much quality? I always say how much quality are in those 10,000 hours, because I could go
Yep.
spend 10,000 hours dribbling around, not really competing, not going game speed at my workouts, even at even at Swish House, the adult fitness class, startup. It's about like efficiency. It's about really pushing yourself as hard as you can go. And that 60 minutes. If you're going to go 60 minutes, well, then let's grow. Let's get a little bit better. Let's go hard, and try to do that consistently over time, and you'll reach mastery faster. To me, the 10,000 hour rule is really about the quality of those hours, the intensity of those hours. I think if you want to like master the guitar, give me 5,000 hours of like 2 days where I practice as hard as I can on the guitar. I'm just,
Uh-huh.
I'll be playing some really cool music if that's my goal. So,
Right.
and I
The
always like interval training, high intensity interval training. Anything that really pushes you to grow faster is definitely how you want to approach those hours.
quality over quantity for sure.
Yeah. Which is what I struggled with as a first year coach. What is the right balance of quality practices versus, well, I don't want to be here for 4 hours just getting nothing done, and I think that's always the struggle coaches have, players have. Like, what's your plan when you go into the gym? Do you have something now that you have, like, are you on cruise control because you've been doing it for so long, or do you write out your workout plans?
I've written them out on paper before. A couple summers ago, I was doing that, and I mean that it made me do it because it's pretty. I think I learned the phrase "man shaming" from a wise man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That's right.
that you write something down and then you go and check it. Like if you're checking it off, like, hey, I did this, and then you're like, oh yeah, I didn't do that. It just kind of it's convicting.
Yeah.
So I'm not writing down anything right now, but um, writing it down makes a big difference. But I do always have a plan,
Mm-hmm.
and that I mean honestly that's probably one of the biggest things that's kept me accountable and kept me at the level I've been able to get to. And again, I've had an up and down ride,
Mm-hmm.
but if I say I'm going to do something, then I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's I'm going to do 100 push-ups a day, and or I'm going to make 10 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, it's I just finished 2 hour practice and I'm tired and I want to go home. But I said no, hey, I'm going to make 10 in a row before I go. Okay, I make 9 and then I back iron the 10th one. What do you do? Do you just do you shoot another one and just say, all right, that counts, or do you start over? And like that for me has kept me. I I take pride in, like, if I say I'm gonna do something, I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even and again, it doesn't have to be something crazy like 10. I mean, 10 in a row. Or at the start of the year this year, I started 2020. I started doing the little every Monday was running the little sprints,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't anything crazy. It was 5 30-second sprints, but in my mind, it was like, hey, I did something extra, and come fourth quarter, I can look back and be like, hey, no, I'm in shape. I did that. Like I mentally,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of was learned. It was learned physical
Mm-hmm. Toughness, mental
strength.
toughness. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I know nobody else that I know of did this, but I did
Mm-hmm.
it. So that makes me stronger. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter because I think I am. So now I'm better than I should be or that I
Mm-hmm.
think I am. But I I would say there's so many times where guys like say I'm going to do something and then they don't do it. And again, maybe they do 60%, maybe they do 80%,
Yeah.
and that's good enough.
Yeah.
But I don't want to look back when I'm done playing and be like, oh, I could have done more. I should have done this or done that or gone to the gym that day or got those extra shots up. And
Yep. I hear you.
so,
I think it's a good tip. Good tip. Well, why don't you tell people what you know? I know you don't have like life after basketball. You're still playing basketball, but I always like to talk about it a little bit just because I think a lot of athletes out there transition. You got college, Olympic, NCAA, high school, middle school. Everybody's season just got cut short,
yeah.
and this is also to me a really good time to figure out what are you doing after sports. Like your playing day. There's a couple things in life that are guaranteed: death, taxes, and your basketball career ending. That's
That's a good one. That's true.
yeah.
That's
And
true.
it is like your basketball career will end. You will not get to play in front of crowds of people. You will not be given free gear. And essentially, that's why I started Swish House was to like kind of recreate that for people. But even then, life, I can't play in front of people. I can't get that exhilaration
Yeah.
of a crowd or a coach or all that admiration that you get. So kind of how do you deal with that with it being over, the season being cut short, and how do you envision your post game life?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Kind of, you're planning on going to 2 days all next week, and then you get said, hey, technically we lost our job. I know people think, oh, we're the professional basketball players, it's all glamorous and stuff, but no, I mean, this is how we provide for our family, and this is our job. So, like, yeah, just like a lot of people out there who lost 9 to 5s and office jobs, like we just lost our job, which is tough. But like for me, like my identity is not in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
My identity is in Christ, so that really helps me stay grounded. And I know God's got a bigger plan for me than if I think he could provide something out of nothing like he's already done for me multiple times. But I always said I got three sort of plans of my own. If I got cut short, would be
Swish House is obviously one.
Switched House is definitely a big 1A right now. Well, but seriously, I mean, it'd be like either getting into somehow full-time ministry, maybe FCA. In college, my wife and I did a lot of FCA, which was awesome, which was
Mm-hmm.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Number two, I got a degree in economics from Belmont, which I like to think means something.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm pretty far removed, and apparently they say no one cares where you went to college, but um, some type of, I guess, corporate job, if
Mm-hmm.
that's the terminology. Or three, like I get some random crazy job like I got a couple years ago or last year, when I did slash sort of retire from basketball,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just kind of something out of nothing, kind of. Or my wife and I have talked and dreamed about doing some type of work in orphanages and adoptions, and which is she's getting her master's in that right now. And
Mm-hmm.
there's some cool opportunities have come about here, actually, with some stuff. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there in the world that people need help with. So maybe doing something in that field, that I guess in the social work field, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe I can just help out,
Yeah.
or do something like that.
Well, the ministry stuff, like a lot of churches have basketball gyms, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just envisioned you running Swish House classes out of your church, which is we basically partner with nonprofits and stuff like that. So you never
Yeah.
know, but
You never know.
and
I mean,
you're a fitness specimen. If I like you're in pretty good shape. You're always the first one in the weight room. Usually doing bicep curls, and I'm like, JJ, those aren't basketball muscles, but they are beach muscles, and that means something to you.
it's a little bit of a mental placebo effect of, hey, like I think my arms are big, so I can play stronger than I actually am. But
You can play the
someone looks,
4, you can play the 3, you can play the 2.
uh-huh. So biceps definitely not the number one basketball workout for sure, but I probably do a few extra than I should. But I make sure to hit the important ones as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I've always joked about possibly I might just be a mercenary and just say whatever company needs me as on their basketball league,
Yeah.
I'll just do contract work as a
So
ringer.
I was doing that in Belgium. We got
Yeah.
the 60.
So
I told everybody I was 55 years old. They believed me, which I thought was that wasn't very complimentary, but it is pretty fun to be the ringer when you come back from the pros until you turn 40 and your hips feel like you
oof.
can't, getting up out of bed. It feels like somebody's shooting you, but
Uh-huh. But yeah, no,
uh,
I mean, you gotta take care of your body and stay fit. And I, you were the one who told me, and another guy who played for 18 years. I asked him what's the number one thing to longevity of your career and everything like that. He said, never get out of shape. So,
ever
I
get
mean,
out of
I
shape. So
I
it's
wouldn't be
such
surprised if
simple. It's so simple, but so hard.
yeah, it's hard. It,
Yeah.
it's it, it's I mean, I for sure there's going to be guys with this 5 month off season that are going to be out of shape when they come back next year, and they're going to get hurt, or they're going to get cut,
Yeah.
or same or college. I guess you don't get cut, but
Yep.
that are going to lose spots because there's going to be some hungry freshman who's working their tail off, and there's going to be some junior who thinks the spot is his,
Yep.
and he comes in 10 20 pounds overweight or out of shape, and I think it's gonna. But no, you gotta stay in shape. I'm not saying I'm not doing anything crazy right now. Like I said,
What
it's
are
still
let's take me through your basketball fitness routine right now. What kind of habits and routines are
man.
you
It's
practicing?
it's brutal right now not having an actual gym to go to. Uh, Belgium's not exactly known for any outdoor courts either, so
No,
I
it's
have not touched a ball since the last practice. I am shooting a pretty good percentage on my daughter's little 2 foot goal,
hmm
but um, right now my wife and I are going on runs every other day. Um, Nothing crazy, few miles, and I do a little few extra sprints and stuff.
hmm
And then on the opposite days, I'm just doing body weight squats and push-ups and abs, um, just enough to just enough to just enough to stay, like I say, stay in shape and stay where once things do open back up, that I'm not starting from scratch.
Yeah,
Um,
it's huge.
so
It's huge.
yeah,
It's
again, like it was really hard because I was like, I was telling myself, okay, once April 1st comes around, then I'll start. And that's going to be almost 15, 20 days of not doing anything. I'm like, no, I just can't. And even like my body, it just, I mean,
yeah,
even health wise, I feel better. I have more energy
yeah.
to do stuff
So
around the house and
it's so
play.
I feel the same way. I mean, it's been tough being back here because I don't have all my clothes. I got this little bed over there.
Uh
Like
huh.
I'm literally living like just with not much stuff and no weights, and I just miss it. I'm like, oh, what can I do? And I know athletes around the world are probably feeling this because if I feel it
Yeah.
and I'm 40 and I'm a coach, I mean, I
Right.
got a cheese block body right now. I'm trying to get back in shape, and I'm trying to get the routine. You got to set the system, like you
Uh
said.
huh.
You got to say what you're going to do, and you got to do it. And then you have that system that you do every day, whether it's running for 30 minutes outside, doing body weight stuff. So that's kind of a big thing we do. I like to challenge everybody. So what's one thing you'd challenge the athletes out there to do?
I would say at least 100 push-ups a day,
Mm-hmm.
and five minutes of plank a day.
Ooh-wee.
Up, up, down, side, and both sides, and just.
I'm coming
You know,
back.
I had to. Well, if we're going to be honest, and again, I might hold myself accountable here, but I haven't agreed to it or not. But I did look up the math. If you do 66 sets of 15 push-ups, that's 1,000 push-ups. I,
66 sets of 15.
so yeah, if you do that, that's 1,000 push-ups, and if you could do, I was thinking about doing 1,000 push-ups a day, and starting in April. But
Wow.
I don't know I don't
So what
know.
does that
But
break down like, for all the math people? What is that about a three? If you do, how many
I mean,
sets an
30,
hour you got to do? 15. You're only awake. Let's say you're awake 12 hours.
yeah, you basically got to do about, let's see, 12,
You said
every 12
66
hours.
times 15.
Yeah, so that's basically 100 every 2 hours.
100. Okay.
I mean,
Seems doable.
but it seems doable, but you're gonna be sore as crap
Yeah.
after the first
I
day.
might have them.
But
I
I
might
don't
have
know,
them
and again,
Jello
that's a little
tries. I got that
that's a
Jello tricep.
that's a little excessive. But I don't know, just something. And again, that's one of those things. Like, okay, well, if you commit to it, then how many guys are gonna do it the first 3 days, and then just be like, all right, whatever, or
Yeah.
they don't get any in the morning, and then they're like, oh, I only got 6 hours to do it, like,
That's sometimes
but
how I feel about my writing.
yeah,
I don't get my
yeah,
1,000 words. If I don't wake up and write my 1,000 words, I had a goal to get 1,000,000 words in a year, and so I like had a real devout writing plan, and it would always start like first thing because I wanted to get that out of the way.
yeah.
And it's tough if you don't get it out of the way. You usually forget about it because life is busy. But
Life, but you do things that you prioritize, and if you want to get a workout in, you'll find the time to get a workout in. If you want to, I heard I'm a big Dave Ramsey guy, and I like one of his sayings that if you, man, I don't want to botch his saying,
you
but
just get it close, ballpark it.
yeah, you're intentional about what you care about, and he always uses the analogy of getting married, and
Mm,
like, you were very intentional and picky in pursuing the girl that you married. So like, things don't happen by accident. Like, you didn't marry someone by accident.
yeah,
You got
you
her number,
were
you
intentional.
called her, you brought her flowers, you
Hmm.
pulled out all the A+ moves to make it happen. And that's the same thing you got to do if you want to make it to college, to pro.
Hmm.
You got to do it, and you got to do stuff that other people aren't willing to do or don't want to do or say they're going to do and don't do.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, last thing. You ready?
Hit me.
Um, was what did your parent like? What was one thing your parents did that you felt helped you develop as a person and a player?
My parents were great. They were, one thing I would say is, I mean, they were always there. They were at every game, I guess not technically every practice, but and just being there. I know that, I think there's a lot of parenting books out there that just say showing up is, actually, I know that's a ministry thing. Like, showing up is 90% of it.
Hmm.
And they were always there. They always encouraged me and um, supported me, um, and at the time, I'm sure I rebelled a little bit, and I definitely had some throwdowns with my parents because they played ball, so
Hmm.
I didn't want to listen to them about basketball. Actually, you know what? I'll change my answer. They never let me win in anything. Change my
Mm.
answer. They
Ooh.
never. I will admit that, I mean, I think I was like 12, 13, 14, which is way too old. But I remember, like, crying leaving the driveway because my mom beat me in
It's not too
free
old.
throw
I
contest.
cry I cry every other
No,
day.
I'm all for crying, but I don't know, losing to your mom and crying at 14 might be pushing it. But
Yeah. Ooh.
yeah, but no, I'm all for a good cry. But yeah, so they just never let me win. It's like, that's not how.
It made you earn it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then it was great. And then you actually feel like you achieve something when you
Yeah.
do beat them, and you do. Then then you learn how to handle a loss,
Yeah.
because there's no athlete out
Exactly.
there who doesn't ever have to deal with losing.
Yeah, it's so true. My brother lost to me. I think he said 571 or something. 571 games of one-on-one. I never let him beat me, and he
Good.
framed the day, which I didn't even think about because,
Right.
it's just another win for me when I'm playing him.
Uh-huh.
And he framed the picture of he had his hands up on the court. We played out at Torch Lake in northern Michigan. we had the lights, we put our cars on the rims, and
Yeah.
we play it all the time. We play one-on-one all the time, but I never let him beat me. And I always think, man, was that the right move? And then I just go, yeah, it was the right move, because he learned how to be resilient. He learned how to be
Right.
gritty. Like, they write books on that stuff. That's
Exactly.
a really important quality to have as an athlete. So anyway, man, I really appreciate it. Anything you want to close with. People can track you down if they want to ask you questions. I mean, you don't have to put your email, your phone number. If you do have Facebook or have camps or websites.
Yeah, I got my Facebook's just JJ, the two letters, Mann, Mann. My wife has the Instagram, Amy Jo Mann. She is in. I don't have Instagram or
Hmm.
Snapchat but yeah, feel free to hit me up or ask Trevor for anything. I'm all about helping the youth and helping the younger generations, and
I mean, and don't forget about the Swish House generation too. We
and
got.
Swish House, baby. Swish House is about to take over. You better get on board. You don't want to get left behind.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, man, I really appreciate you hopping on. I know there's a lot of people just wondering what the heck to do with all this free time, and I'm just like, well, find a way to do what you love, and work together to create more happiness with each, whatever you're doing. I appreciate it. You always bring a smile to my face. You got that zest for life. So keep it going over there.
I sure will, man. Hit me up anytime.
All right, JJ Mann, signing off. See ya.
Signing off. All right, man. Thanks.